Channel 3 is your back-to-school authority. After a summer full of fun, it really can be hard to transition into the school year routine.
And that is so true for our teenagers who may be coming off of a summer filled with staying up late, sleeping in, too much screen time. Here now to help us with this transition is our friend and child psychologist, Dr. Laura Saunders. Hi, Doc.
Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. And yes, I am not yet declaring that summer's over. However, a little bit of preparation time can always be helpful for us and for our teens.
I know. And then this is my question, is you're going to give us a little mental health well-being checklist, not just for the kids, but ourselves too. But they resist it so much. I mean, if I try to even talk to my kids about, hey, we better start trying to get back on a schedule, they're like, rah!
Right. It's about moving them inches, not about moving them feet. So, any little progress that you can make, yes. And we know that by definition, teenagers are resistant, but the little things that you can do to just maybe talk about what the schedule would be like, come the end of August. I mean, it's not really that far away. Well, I like to hold on to summer as well. So, look at some scheduling issues, trying to inch their bedtime and then wake up time a little bit in the direction that's going to be helpful, because it is a painful time when you're just throwing them into it at the last minute.
And I know another thing that we struggle with in our household is bedtimes. In the summer, you might have some s'mores. It's lighter out later. There are more events and things and activities going on. So you kind of let some things slip and the kids stay up a little later.
Yeah.
But it's hard to try and transition them to get back to a normal, sleep schedule, especially during the week when school's right around the corner. So any tips on that?
Yes. And it really is just moving it a little bit at a time, right? You're not going to go from having, teens go to bed at midnight to go to bed at 9 o'clock, right? You're not going to make that shift, but move them a little bit at a time, really trying to work on a little bit more routines. This is the time to get some of that summer work done. So it's trying to move them inches, not feet or yards. And sometimes it's just about having the conversation, right? Tolerating a conversation is a step in the right direction.
All right, and I want to just take a moment and go back to your first tip, which is that I sometimes maybe I'm saying, hey, make a plan or make a schedule, but one of your suggestions is that we create the schedule and we share it, because we want them to be really organized, but the truth is their brains are still developing. They may not be very organized humans yet.
They are definitely not very organized humans yet, at least the great majority of them. And it honestly doesn't work if the parent creates the schedule and then dictates what the schedule is. So having some sort of shared buy-in or motivation from your teen can be really helpful. I don't necessarily like to overload kids with tons of activities and tons of AP classes and all sorts of things. They have to have some buy-in for that, but having some structure really just helps all of us get through our day.
Yeah, I know my kids are on the younger end, but we have like a little star chart, and a lot of the things on there that George can get stars for kind of coincide with the schedule, more or less, like clearing the table and, feeding the dog, little like activities and, responsibilities that we'll give him. And then we decide on something if he gets a certain amount of stars by the end of the week. So that incentivizes it a little bit on the younger end, at least.
Absolutely. And what that does is it really sets up expectations, right? You're providing opportunities for learning. This is what we expect, and then this is what happens. This is what we're hoping for, and this is what I need you to do, right? All that is communication. And the more you set foundations for communication, the more it helps you in the long run.
Okay, and the other thing is we want to limit screen time. I know this can be tough with teens, a little bit easier when they're younger. You just take the devices away. But how do you suggest we really get that message through? Because the sleep is so important.
It is about taking some screen-free breaks. And honestly, more and more schools, and it's happening in Connecticut as well, are talking about having screen-free zones in schools where they have those kind of lock boxes. So
love it.
start having those conversations, because those are going to be rough conversations with your high schoolers.
Yeah, yeah. I know that they feel like it's so part of them. And then what I love also is that, you know, when the kids are younger, one of the prize things might be nap time and just relaxing sometimes. But there's so much pressure to have your kids do everything you need to do, get in college. But you really, as a psychologist, say you have to work downtime into those routines. Our mental health and our kids' mental health depends on it.
Yeah, downtime is important for everyone, right? When they're young children, the skill is called self-soothing, right? You have to learn how to manage that time on your own. That's when your thoughts and feelings come up. It's that skill that actually helps you fall asleep, because when you close your eyes at night, you can't be on a screen to actually fall asleep. You have to be able to manage the thoughts and feelings that come up. So that skill, that downtime skill, that, you know, screen-free downtime skill, for us, I mean, it could be a couple minutes of a walk or a meditation or just some mindfulness. It's just freeing your mind of outside stimulation and learning how to manage and control your own thoughts, ideas, and feelings.
All right, Dr. Laura Saunders, thank you so much. Such great tips for parents and students of all ages and families all together.
Yeah, we're going to do an expanded conversation on the Kara's Cures podcast, so you can join us for that, and we'll talk a little bit more how to do this. But yes, we are counting down. So thanks for being with us, Doc. And happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Not today, but it happened.
Happy belated birthday.
29 again this year.
Woo! All right. You look great. Fountain of youth, I think, right?
Absolutely.